Twitch. It's your boy P2 ASU coming at you live on Monday night. And it's exciting because we're restarting the Unbeaten Path. That's right. I'm not DMing, so this is actually going to be a game of D&D. It's not going to be some like tangent where rules don't matter. We actually have a good DM this go round. So he's back in the saddle.
Stop.
PS Zombies creation, homebrew campaign, Unbeaten Path. We're going to be restarting here in 2023 tonight. So get ready. Before we kick it to him and kick it to the crew, I just want to thank you for finding us either now or after the fact. You can make sure to follow PUTASU on all the social medias. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. You can find us on all those places. We also can be found here on Twitch and on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our Discord channel. You can find that on on Twitch as well. And we also have a merch store that still has merch from this past year, and that can also be found here on our Twitch page. We appreciate any subs you send our way as well. And don't forget that Amazon Prime subscription, if you got it, you can use once a month on your favorite Twitch streamer. Why not make that Poo-Too? Throw a little love our way to make quality entertainment for you on a Monday night. So that's it from me. PS Zombie, how's it feel to be back in the DM seat?
Feels good. Back in the saddle.
That's right.
No, it feels good. Yes, I'm through the thick of my schooling. Have more free time now, so we're excited to be back with the regular crew on the regular day, as we like to be. Yeah, so I don't know if someone has the ability to check on the stream. We just sometimes get a little bit of an echo, and I just want to make sure that's not coming through on stream. I don't know if anybody else is hearing it. I'm getting it every now and then. It also could just be my problem. Super.
Keep talking, I'll check.
Well,
my problem.
No, it's on the stream, yeah.
Okay. There is an echo on the stream?
Yeah.
No,
you guys want to listen?
I think that's Craig looping it through his own.
Yeah, maybe Craig. Poo-Too. Poo-Too, if you're not talking, maybe mute your mic. I don't know if you have a push to mute or something.
Because we can't hear it looping back through, but we couldn't before.
Yeah, or if you have headphones, maybe that would solve it.
I don't think it's me. I had myself muted and was listening to the stream. But
we could hear you.
We
could hear you the entire time. I had my stream off, and I could hear you.
Yeah, same.
All right.
So we were hearing it coming from you.
All right.
And I think
yeah,
stream is
there's
normal.
some sort of open mic going on in your biz.
You guys got me silenced on Ninja.
Yeah,
I have no ingoing or outgoing audio on Ninja.
You are not. Yeah, it's definitely not coming through the stream, and it definitely was good when I just listened to the stream. I can turn the stream on now, and it sounds good.
Except when I talk.
No. When you talk, it's
your
also
talking
fine.
is fine. It was when you were playing.
It was when you were listening to the echo of the stream. You were creating the echo in the stream, so you were like, there's an echo in the stream.
If it's fine now, then maybe we just dive in.
I'm gonna keep microdosing my Coke.
Viewers, forgive me if I talk your ear off, but I think it's to all of our benefit if we do a little bit of a recap, because there has been a fairly significant break here. If anyone wants to interrupt me or add things at the end of it, please do. But I'll try to cover kind of the major things that are going to affect what's going on now. So I'm not going to cover every little thing, even things that maybe were fun and important. But if they don't affect kind of what's going on, I'm probably just going to... So the core concept here is... our heroes were all hired by various experts in their field to assist in a grand building project that was put on by King Waldorf of the land of Morden. It was a very mysterious project. No one was quite sure what was going on, but each of our heroes was doing their part to help out, even without knowing what's going on, just because they were being paid so well. Upon completion and through events, we discovered that the project was reopening an entrance to a plane of existence called the Path, which is a way to connect various realms to each other. The surface realm, which is where all of our heroes were currently presiding. There is also going up in the path. There is a sky realm and an astral realm. Going down on the path, there is the Underdark and an abyssal realm. So it's kind of a shortcut to get through between these areas, which by natural means are extremely difficult to traverse. But the path is not without its perils. It has sort of defense mechanisms that it utilizes through these rooms that will generate enemies that our heroes had to fight through. The concept here is kind of like a roguelike game almost, where you fight through various rooms of somewhat randomized enemies. You fight a boss, and this is how you kind of move through the path up and down. After a few attempts of our heroes trying to go up on the path, they elected to go down on the path and found themselves in the Underdark, which is where we currently are. After encountering some sea elves called the Drowned Lords, who were one of the factions in the Underdark, probably the more friendly one that we've encountered so far, they were sent to the Ashen Kingdom of the Drow, which would be the most unfriendly so far, as they were fairly intent on stealing what knowledge, imprisoning, and or killing all of our party members. We now find ourselves upon information that the entrance to the path might be in the Grey Empire of the Durgar, Dark Dwarves. We find ourselves in the entrance after passing through a kind of sewer system that was abandoned there. Encountered a young dark deep gnome girl named Nat, who is currently with the party, fairly recent addition. And when we last left off, they were right at the entrance to the Empire. So that's kind of story in a nutshell. Obviously, lots of stuff left out. As for our characters, we have Alibaba, who's played by Climate Changer. He is a tiefling and made his fortune as a thief, a fence, a smuggler, any sort of shady dealings you were interested in. He could do it for you. He was such a talented trickster that he won a genie in a game of chance against said genie. So now with patron Ifriti, which is the fire genies, in his servitude, he operates as a warlock. He has a plethora of adopted orphan children that he cares for in a sort of what was it called? Oliver.
A pocket realm.
Did they have a name for the group of like thieves in Oliver, like the kids who stole stuff?
Yes.
I don't remember what they were called. Anyways, like that, a bunch of children run by a thief. His patron now reluctantly babysits his children for him while he goes off adventuring. And then we have Amubis Calvin, who is played by Putu. At a very young age, he was taken into the Church of Ubtao and raised to be a maze walker, which is their sort of field agents of their church. They walk paths, they guide people, they believe strongly in fate, trained in warrior ways and religious ways. Oh, I should mention that Alibaba initially was hired on to acquire sort of more terrestrial materials for the path. He was hired by this guy whose name is lost to time because I deleted him from my character sheets, but he was this half-elf fella. Anyways.
Wasn't he the gentleman who turned into the fire spirit?
Yeah.
Yes. So he was hired by
Unchained?
a drow who was disguised as a half-elf, and assassinated the king for, I believe, yet unknown reasons, and kind of set in motion the events that got our characters on this path. Yes. Anyways, Amubis was hired by Maze Walker Gorlick to kind of bless random things. That was the tasks that were used to build the path were somewhat nonsensical initially. We eventually found out that the path just kind of needed materials. It just needed stuff to generate its rooms. It took organic matter, it took inorganic matter, it took arcane matter, it took religious matter, and it converted it all into the things it needs. So Amubis has been beset with strange visions of his god Uptau, and some sort of strategy game against an unknown being, as he continues on the path. So he seems to be a cog in some sort of cosmic game that's being played. And lastly, we have Karos Faster.
It's amazing. It's amazing. That's what it is.
Played by Soundproof, or are you Battle Armor on this one?
I think a Battle Armor generally. I think that's my branding here.
But yeah, Soundproof Battle Armor is the total.
That is the sum total of my usernames.
He is a Sky Elf, an Avarial, raised in the theocratic Sky City of the Avarials, who worship Airdrie Fania, who is their patron god. But he was cursed with a curiosity and ingenious mind inherited from his father, and they meddled in arcane artificing, and eventually leading them to create. Do we say specifically what it was? Some sort of machine, a prototype armor, a flying machine. Yes, some sort of flying machine went terribly wrong, burned his wings off, and unfortunately gained the attention of the local authorities. His father chose to take the fall for it, and was left to the justice of the Sky Elves, while he himself was exiled to the surface world and without wings has no ways to return. Made his way as a tinkerer artificer, and was hired to make things for the path as well. So these are kind of our three heroes as we find ourselves here. Current mission, I believe, is return to the path so we can find a way home and complete our task that the Queen... so after the king was assassinated, the Queen hired them to find her son, who was lost on the path some time ago.
I have two additions. One, the group of thieves does not have a name, but the thing that I was trying to remember is they're all led by a man named Fagin. Yes. Alibaba is the Fagin of the thing.
Correct.
Secondarily, I did write a recap that I never got to use. It's like 2.5 pages. But anyway, I have it in here that the man's name is Roy Balfour. Balfour.
I remember that exactly so. That was the one who hired Alibaba.
Who hired Alibaba?
I will also mention that while on the path, death is not the end. They get sent back to the beginning if they die and have another chance. And while this is normally just a simple reset, they have caught the eye of a powerful being known as the Smiling Man, who has elected to, upon death a few times, give and take unique buffs that may be abilities from other classes. They may be entirely new abilities altogether. They may be augments to things that they can already do. But he, at his own whims, seems to dole out abilities to our heroes. And there's been a few rounds of that. But they are currently off the path, so there's no coming back if you lose it now.
Death is the end. If you die in the game, you die in real life.
I imagine, yeah. This is Sword Art Online. All right, so cool. I think that's, maybe not as organized as I hoped, but here we are. So this is kind of the end of the sewer area where you kind of found yourself through. If you remember, you fought the water weirds in the initial part of the sewer, and then you kind of moved to where you found Nat, the gnome girl, and she kind of baited you into almost getting eaten by a mimic, and then she felt real bad about it, and so now she's kind of paired with y'all. You also, I believe in this very room, fought some Quasits riding hellhounds, some little little demons.
I remember that.
And so I don't remember. Did Crumb, the Splinter Ninja Turtles guy, did he mention that Grey Empire was beset with demons? I believe he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's we had a whole discussion about how there might be some stuff coming up from the path below, and they're there's more layers of path up and down.
And also the entrance and exit to the paths are not always in the same place, which is why you exited in the Drowned Lord Empire, and now we're pretty sure the entrance is in the Grey Empire.
Yeah, and it's possible that the exit of going up is a different location than the exit of going down.
Correct.
So it's like exiting going down sends you to Sea Elf place, which makes sense because the Sea Elves are there, and it's like they probably came down from the material plane, some such.
Yes, we know they did sink at some point.
Before we went underground, we were pretty much on a jailbreak, right? Like I remember us all being captured and set apart, and then we reunited.
Yes.
That was in the Drow Empire.
Yeah. So in the Ashen Kingdom, Karos had parts of his technology stolen by a wizard for them.
It was
Anubis
like
ended up in jail.
Consensual at first. It was like we're mostly cool with it, and then he got a little pushy.
Oh,
little too much. And Ali kind of fought his way in to collect them. And then you all left together, and Crumb kind of directed you to the sewers, as is Ninja Turtle, and that's what got you here.
Sweet.
So have we seen,
and we have Dear Sweet Newt, the familiar of Alibaba.
He's a red-winged blackbird right now.
Yes, currently.
I used to have
He
animal.
was once a newt, hence the name Newt.
I used to have a lion. Mubus starts tearing up.
Yes.
We all used to have a lion. Get over it.
Yeah. He says Newt, no matter what.
I should have done
he's
lion
in.
and tiger and bear, but I did lion, tiger, and panther.
It seemed more Power Rangers to have them all be cats instead of
I like
just
I like
a
it. That
Wizard
was
of
a
Oz
cool
reference.
Ooh, little hard
So-
to deal with though when everyone has
a
a
lot of people. for sure.
TBH, a lot of DPS,
Was that the first
DPR.
demon encounter we've had outside of the path?
I mean, technically, you had a demon encounter in Ouroboros, which was outside of the path, but he's like not so very
He's
outside
too
of the
far
path.
outside of the path.
He's outside of everything.
Yeah.
It's like asking like, oh, have we encountered a sunny day not in Miami? And it's like, well, it was pretty hot in hell. It's like, well, that's different.
I did have fun looking through all of my character sheets though and remembering all these characters. Like very nostalgic.
There's some cool ones. You can
Like
always
even just
recycle them.
Nurungwe, like I thought he was really interesting. Like quasi villain.
I'm looking forward to getting back in the path and piloting a different class and stuff like that. That was fun. I got to briefly be a different dude for
What
were
we
doing.
where were we headed?
We're headed to the path in the deep.
Yeah, so I'll say
deep
on
dwarf
this particular
empire.
on this particular map, kind of south is where you came from. That's the sewers, and then north, you hear is to the Grey Empire, which is the empire. It's ruled by Duragar, the Dark Dwarves, but it also
And it's
has
beset by demons right now.
Smurfledom, the Deep Gnomes. They live there as well, but the ruling class is the Duragar. It is the largest of the 3 Underdark kingdoms.
Well, I
Most
imagine we
powerful.
wouldn't want to take Nat in there, right?
It's where she lives.
Plus, she owes us. Amubus narrows his eyes.
But if it's full of demons, I mean, probably
Well,
very dangerous.
changing this to an in-character discussion, I don't think we can make it very far without her, seeing as how we have absolutely no idea where we're going or the land, or she'll at least be able to, even if I believe we instructed her to hide in a corner if anything happens. I believe that's current running plans is hide in a corner. So I think that plan is generally pretty good.
Did she give us like any intel? I don't remember, but did she give us any intel about like what's in the city or how to go about navigating?
Yeah, guard stations, stuff like that.
I think she said she knew her way. I don't know if she was more specific than that because I don't know if I could be more specific than that. I think she said she was familiar with this area that she was from.
She lives in this sort of sewery area.
I think she kind of implied that she was an orphan from a slums and ended up living in the sewers because that's kind of where she could make her way.
Yeah. I think also she is trying to maintain her usefulness as a guide by not giving us too much information, which is a smart move. You know, if she has the information, she'd still want to not give it to us.
What did she say her name was again?
Nat, short for
with a
Natalie.
G.
Nat.
Nat with a
Nat.
G, short for Natalie with a G.
Amubus goes, well, first off, I know we just exited the sewers, but it felt like it's been a while. Friends, how are you?
It was a long, long rest.
It would seem like
I
a
feel
long while.
grand for some reason.
I'm stinky.
Yes, I feel like ready and jonesing for an adventure anyway. Little girl, Nat, can you continue to show us the way to the kingdom?
Well, yes, right through here is the slums where I was raised. I haven't been here in a long time, though. I was honestly living with that mimic for quite a while now.
You don't...
Sorry again about your friend.
Oh, it's okay. It was. I wouldn't say it was a friendly relationship. It was more it was the strongest thing around. So as long as it wasn't eating me, it protected me from the other things. But now I have you.
Sounds like the government.
Big brother.
Biggest thing around.
Ain't that right?
Yeah.
You don't have any more friendly mimics or traps laying ahead, do you? Just straight to the city.
No. I haven't even been this far in such a long time. I mean, you saw there were demons here. I never would have survived it.
I think you'd probably turn around at the first sign of them normally, too.
I didn't even try.
I don't know that. If you just believe in yourself, you can do all kinds of things.
Well, gnomes are pretty small anyways, and I am a child gnome, so I'm like a foot tall.
Much fewer things than a reasonable person could do.
Very, very, very.
But when you do
high
them,
to
it will be that much better.
The pride,
Just
the glory,
like
become
how
a
you're
barbarian.
going to show us the way to the city.
Yes, through here, we'll hit the slums, and then, like most cities, we have to get through the slums on the outskirts of the city, and then once it starts getting more towards the center, it gets nicer and nicer. People like me usually aren't welcome, but you guys are special. Maybe they'll let you in.
I know my way through a slum or two.
Is there anyone that you know in the slums that would be a good contact for us to talk to about going-ons that's happening in the kingdom? We are looking for a specific place that could be a recent area of interest in the city.
It's been so long since I've been here. I don't even know if any of the people I knew are still alive. Like street children aren't usually befriended. They're afraid that if anyone says hi to us, that we'll just glean to them, and then they'll have to kind of adopt us. It's like a stray dog. You don't want to pet it because then you feel bad and you have to adopt it. So I wouldn't say I had any friends that were of any use at all.
Very well, Pat.
Else I would be in a better position than I am.
That's fair and reasonable. Shall we just sort of continue?
Thank you. Thank you for your gentle pats.
Very well. To the slums.
Make like a gnat, and
Newt to the slums.
Show us how to get to the city.
Yeah, so you travel north through this. This is still kind of like, if you recall, as you were traveling through the sewers, it was more or less abandoned. It seemed like it was like, I don't know, almost imagine like in deep dark parts of Russia or something, like you had high technology that was built by people who cared a while ago, and then now it's more or less abandoned, but it's still like neat technology. It just hasn't been upkept. Like, this is that part of the sewers. Like, some very ingenious dwarves once upon a time built this, and then no one's bothered to be here for a while because more important things came up. So as you exit through, there's kind of like like a safety grate, but it's not locked or anything. You're able to travel through it, and then I'm going to pull up a map just for visual. This isn't going to be like a move around map. Let's see. Here we go. I need to zoom out a little bit. So as you look around, you can see, even in this slums area, it's pretty impressive. As opposed to the other kingdoms you've been in, like the Drowned Lords obviously had surface dwellings that then sunk and were kind of, anything that survived was used as a kingdom. So it was almost like pretty similar to surface stuff, just maybe like a little more algae clinging to it and whatever. The Ashen Kingdom of the Drow was very like carve out the rock and then build our kingdom. So it was very like dominating the surrounding area. What you see here in the Grey Empire is more coexisting with the rock. The houses are set into the rock. They're kind of, caves dug into the walls. It's a real integration of the environment in the Underdark and living. So they're not. So it's a little bit more of a natural. You can see how it would be a lot less time-consuming and expensive compared to like the Ashen Kingdom. So it's easy to fathom why this kingdom was able to be much larger and much more efficient. As the trade-off is, it's very dank. There's no windows. There's no open air. This is like quintessential you live in a cave kind of living.
Wasn't like it was going to be nice, though, if they had installed windows. It's not like that would have benefited. It would have just been a nice window and more rock.
Right. I mean, you could dig like a little hole just so you could have a window, like in Rock City, like a window, just to see like a little. You could put up like a little diorama of trees or whatever,
exactly.
like, if you really cared to. And I'm sure some of them did, especially the gnomes. They're a little more whimsical.
It's just like Christmas all year round, where they're just like those little alcoves with nativity scenes in them.
Yeah, and you do kind of see that like some of the houses set in the stone are definitely gnome houses, smaller doors and whatnot. For all of you, the doors are a bit small anyways. It's made for Durgar, who are even a little bit smaller than surface dwarves. And then deep gnomes, who are quite a bit smaller than. And even if your characters are, average humanoid height, it's still smaller than you. And yeah, why don't we all do a perception check real quick, just as we look around the kingdom.
First roll of 2023 Unbeaten Path.
Let's go.
Perfectly average.
Beautiful rolls.
I am loading.
That's below average with your bonus.
Yeah, that's true.
Perception.
Only mildly, though. I think it's within the.
You might need to toggle normal rolls. Alibaba. Yeah. So as you glance around, are you polishing something? It's a very squeaky like kind of squeak.
It sounded like a washing machine or something. That's the one.
Yep, definitely squeaking. Is that you, Poots?
It's not me.
I think his knee.
You're not polishing something?
Oh. Yeah.
Climate change is polishing something.
No, it's not me.
Oh.
Just my Putu sign.
Heard. Yes, fairly average rolls. So you'll see what's most evident. Though there are many houses set in the rock, and there's kind of this central light coming from iridescent stones, none of the houses are lit up.
Mm-hmm.
There are no fires. There are no lights in any of the houses. Not a single one. And this is conspicuous.
Is it like empty and there's no people, or are there people all over the place?
At this you're still at the entrance of the sewers, so it's hard to tell from here. All you can tell is that there are no lights on, and I'm going to move you to a proper map now.
So via zombie, we're kind of coming up the bottom, like where that bridge is. Is that kind of our frame of reference?
Let me have a look. See.
This was just a vibe, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was mostly just a vibe. But imagine, I would say you're a little higher up than the bridge. You're probably like, well, no, it would make more sense. Imagine like if there was a south to this map, like you're off the map down somewhere.
Got it.
It would make sense with water that it would be on the right level. But here, I'll move you to a proper map. All right. So here's a proper map. So you've just come out of that graded area. There's
Cool.
there is some light, but it's like I said, the houses are not lit up.
This is
Okay.
upsetting, troubling. Do you all see this? Probably better than I.
Yeah. It seems likely that they would have evacuated perhaps the outer lying sections if there were constant incursions. We saw the devils that were, directly outside here. It stands to reason that they might sort of try to coalesce everyone. I'm surprised that they would have done that with the slums, though. Seems like perhaps people just left this area of their own accord because we're walking into a war zone. That is one thing that we need to remember. It's not exactly a city right now. It's a battlefield. It's a staging ground.
I think we really need to find the source of where the demons are coalescing and coming from.
Yes, and avoid that place at all costs.
Should we try to sneak a peek in the closest window? See if people are sheltering in placing or actually evacuating?
Seems reasonable. We could poke our heads in, and if there is someone there, I'm sure we can get some information from them.
Very well.
Yes, I'd like to see some signs of life.
I start looking for the closest, dwelling to my location.
Yeah, so you're in a little bit of a corridor. So as you take a few steps forward, you suddenly see Nat drop to her knees and cover her ears and begin screaming. She's like, "Ah!
Come on,
it's
Nat.
coming! It's coming!"
Nat, we talked about this. Nat.
I pick Nat up and I run into a corner with her, and I set her down. I'm gonna say, she and I are gonna come over here.
Sure.
Behind this pillar.
Like
And I'm
behind
just
over
going-
here or behind over here?
Behind the pillar, just like right there. Yeah.
Well, now we've
Cool.
woken up the whole neighborhood.
I wanna put her in a spot that is reasonably safe and defensible in case whatever she believes is coming is coming. I instantly believed her and took her advice as our guide.
A few moments after you drop her off, you all start to hear a horrible sound in your minds. Now, who here speaks Abyssal?
Does Thrust Web help me with Abyssal?
I think so.
Okay.
I do not.
Abyssal, no.
I do speak
No,
Gnomish, if
it
that
looks like
helps.
just Elvish and Undercommon.
Undercommon was what you, yeah.
Yeah, so the sword just does Elvish and Undercommon. So you just hear a horrible screeching of Abyssal in your mind. And you can't understand what's been saying, but you can tell it's a message repeating, like a 2-sentence message. It's like Rusha, Shasha, Rusha, Shasha, Rusha, Shasha, Rusha, Shasha. And it's echoing in your mind. And after a moment, you see drop from the ceiling a tremendous insect-like demon that falls to the floor. And I'm gonna need you to roll for initiative.
Absolutely. Is this Rosha or is
Hang
this?
on.
Oh, I forgot. Shoot.
You open initiative.
I've been so used to not having a turn tracker because I do play a lot on Roll20, but I don't play a lot with some of the baked-in tools.
So, you said massive. Like, how massive? Like
large.
a dragon? Okay.
Large.
Rolling with the 11s today. Pretty strong.
Why is Nat in
Strong
here?
3 dealer. She's a character sheet? Oh, she.
But I didn't roll it.
We can't see her on our turn tracker.
Oh, she must be left over then from our last initiative. I'll just re-roll her stuff. Okay, so let's.
Imagining that's the noise.
Locust
Okay.
noises.
That's initiative. Oh shit. I mean, poop.
Shatickety.
Shiitake mushrooms.
Ding dang it. Boom. Alright, so let's. Y'all can see that, right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can remove. Her other. Well, if you can't see it, I'll just skip it.
We can.
Eaten by Nat.
I see exactly the correct number of people.
Cool.
So-
I see you twice for some reason, and Amubis twice, and Nat twice, but the enemy and Alibaba only once, so that's great.
I was
But luckily,
13.
you and Amubis are your duplicates are back to back with your actual character, so it's
Oh,
fine.
that's very
Everything's
nice.
working. Yeah.
Just
so-
curious, did this abyssal in our mind gradually increase as we walked towards the city, or did it just gradually increase as we were standing still?
As you were standing still, it was
Okay.
this thing was approaching you and projecting
Okay.
a message of abyssal as it went. So it came to you. It entered your radius. So-
we just in combat then?
Karos, you're first. Yeah. Well,
Fantastic.
I mean, however you want to react to this giant insect.
Yeah, no, it's combat. It's for sure.
Let's
combat.
run.
0% chance it is not combat. However, yeah, what do we do about it? All right. Well, I am going to trust Nat is in a comfy little corner, and I'm going to run up to Mr. Bugman. Has he landed now?
Yeah, it dropped to the floor. It
Dropped
was
to the
clinging
floor.
to the ceiling and it dropped to the floor.
Gotcha. Goma style. We're engaging in a
Yes.
Goma fight.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I am going to quickly put Nat down, and as I'm running, I was probably in some sort of travel configuration where my neck gets a little bit looser and my gauntlets kind of come off and stuff. And as I'm running, everything just starts snapping into combat place, and I get my big old gauntlets. They've got their two little taser prongs on them, and I go up and I just try to give as good of a wallop as I can to this bug man with my booming. Wait, should I do booming blade or should I do? Yeah, I'm gonna do booming blade.
All right.
Wow, that's so garbage.
Yeah, I'm afraid as you swing with your fist, fist meets carapace, and you deflect off the hard shell of this demon insect.
That's why I occasionally regular attack so that I get a second shot out. Well, all right then. I can't do anything other than be a big meat shield. So I'm going to bonus action as my final thing. Slam my lid down shut.
Nice.
And be helmeted up. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, Amubis, you are up.
I'm going to cast 45 feet. Perfect. I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon and
Okay.
get the good old Sun Smasher to show up next to Karos
Sounds good.
and let it do an attack.
Cool. You gonna do a second level?
Yeah.
Just like the base.
Yeah.
That's all we got right now.
So
Third level does not increase its ability, and you don't have spells.
Is it every 2 levels for that?
It's every 2 levels it increases by 1d8 because it's
Nice.
just such a stellar spell that they can't give you an extra d8 on everything.
Alright, 1 second. Sorry, my sheet's being really slow.
Mine is too. It's just solid white.
That's
I've
weird.
been- everything I've been doing has been snappy as heck.
You need to exit out and reload or something.
I did, and it just didn't help. Well, douche. Kadoosh. That's not help me?
Yeah, so the Sun Smasher has the same sort of effect. It bounces off the carapace of this creature. It has a pretty solid exoskeleton. Has your Dalio-shaped shield. King!
I'm going to, since that is my
You can tell
bonus
he's
action,
angry.
I'm going to move 30 feet for my movement.
Okay.
And I'm going to, as an action, take the dodge action.
Alright, cool.
And that'll be my turn.
Cool. Next up, I think you probably go before.
Well, if you want to let her go, my sheet is not loading. I might have to
She has
disconnect.
pretty basic stats.
I'm going to disconnect and relog in because.
Yeah, no worries.
All right.
Yeah, I'll let Nat go. It doesn't super matter. She's not gonna engage. I think she will. She's either gonna hide or dodge. She's probably gonna hide. She'll take the hide action. Let's hide. Just Dex, I guess.
You roll stealth.
Yeah.
She's probably proficient in stealth if you wanted to mentally add that.
I think that's fine. She's gonna. She's gonna
So
hide
Alibaba
and just end her turn.
is going to
I'm sure this thing is not going to be doing a lot of searching with many people in its face.
Several guys up on it.
Where is it? Flapper. He's gonna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's gonna fly up in the air because he feels like this is a little dangerous.
Yeah. So for the viewers, he purchased a flounder in the Kingdom of the Drowned Lords that his patron transformed into a magic carpet for him, so he can summon that magic carpet like twice a day or something like that to gain a fly speed.
Anubis looks up at Flapper and says, "This feels like the weird dream I had where I was a cowboy and I fought that thing in combat."
Like my ancestors.
So it's a bonus action to do that. So he's just he's gonna fly over into this corner, sort of attempting to draw the demon's view away from the direction of Nat, and then he's going to cast Eldritch Blast. 2 times.
Lovely.
Yes. As purple and red energy flows down the end of the staff, it let's see what it does here. There we go.
Man,
Wow.
you got
We rolled a
rolls.
1, a 2, and a 3
Terrible.
on our first attack roll. That's hilarious.
We're terrible, aren't we?
Yeah,
He's
so the
just
first one.
distracted by this sound bouncing around in his head.
Yeah, the first one just fires wide. It
Okay. And then
that'll
he kind of
Yeah,
focuses
so the
in a
second
little
one-
better.
you slap center mass there. Ooh, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, you made
Well
up for
done.
it. Yeah, so your Eldritch Blast does some force damage. You see part of the fire deflect off its carapace.
Okay.
So not all of the fire makes it through, but
There seems to be something resisting it.
almost like that.
It is
But-
resistant, I think.
You still do plenty of damage.
That
with that.
none of the
Fair
rest of us really bother with fire. To be fair.
Okay.
Even though I'm pretty sure fire beats bug.
'Tis the nature of demons.
True.
Yes, most of that was force anyway. Anything else from you?
Do your worst, demon.
You're gonna kind of
That's
curl
it.
behind that a little bit. Very
Yeah.
nice. All right, so now it is the beastie's turn.
What a creepy creature.
Yes, it is terrifying. So it's going to. It's going to take flight.
What?
Yes. It's going to decide. So it begins hovering. At first, it's just hovering very slightly off the ground. But it's going to. What shall it do? I think it's gonna. Move itself here. So it's basically gonna fly over Karos, and then it's gonna attack him.
How dare you?
It's hovering. I would say maybe it's hovering just maybe 3 feet off the ground. Its wings, the horrible droning sound continues.
Not a shot. Not a chance in
It attacks you with its
14.
needle-like proboscis. As it
I use various
stabs
parts
down
of my
towards you.
armor to deflect and harangue.
Yes, it deflects off. It is going to do a second attack, and it deflects
Also no
off.
shot.
It basically like a wild beast. The first attack deflects off, and then it stabs again in the same spot it was just in, shakes its head, and moves on. So Karos, it's your turn. Please, at the start of your turn, do a Constitution saving throw.
Can do. Boom. 20.
Though the droning vibrate your armor, you are sturdy as heck, and the muffling of the sound preserves you a bit. You're fine.
I enforce counter vibrations to perfectly cancel out the vibrations.
The genius of your armor allows this.
Okay, so I'm going to try to take 2 normal swings with my
Sounds
fist,
good.
just to really guarantee. That's 23.
That's
Nice.
gonna hit as you slam on its somewhat softer underbelly
7
and deal
thunder
7
damage.
thunder damage. Boom. Because of its mass, it doesn't move as much, but it does take good damage.
Nice. 17. How we feeling?
17 will also hit.
Fantastic.
As you swing around with a cross, you catch it in what would pass as its chin.
And I switch to my force gauntlets this time. The little diodes flip down and they've got a little I don't know, whatever force damage is. It's like a little repulsor field that I incorporate. And the diodes on the one have now attached to him and are making a incessant beeping in his ear.
Terrific. Anything else from you?
Nope, didn't think so.
You want to rotate around or anything? Nothing? No movement?
Let me see. We don't flank or nothing in this, do we?
No.
Well, I shall move here because I am concerned that he is getting closer to our dear Nat, and I would like to be able to
Sounds
hit
good.
him both ways from Sunday if he does try to push.
All right, Anubis, at the top of your turn, please do a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
You too hear the horrible droning,
Mm.
but in response to it, your cow-like ears are able to flatten up against your horns and block out some of it. You are fine.
I learned this at the temple. I'm yelling. As
It's too loud.
he is going to say, I really need something to slow you down. And I'm going to cast Spiritual Guardians. And so 15 feet around me, little tiny Dalio heads start to appear. Beep, 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 beep. And I'm going to designate everybody can see, Nat included, as not affected, besides the insect thingy. So I don't know how you want me to do like a...
When it enters the area, so I think I do a save right now, and then...
Rules is written. It is at the start of its turn, and then if it ever wasn't in the thing on its turn
and then it
enters it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if it
Sounds
wasn't
good.
in the thing on a turn, it's just it doesn't ping when you first generate it. It's the Moonbeam rule, I think.
Okay, because it's not the start of... Right.
Exactly. It's neither the start of its
sense.
turn nor has it entered it
Makes
for the
sense.
first time.
Okay, so when it starts its turn, it will take damage or do the save for that. You still have your bonus action. Nice, have some movement.
I'm going to... How do you do the aura again? You do it under settings?
I think I should be able to do it in the gear. If you go to the gear, you can do an aura.
You click on a gear.
And then you can set the... I guess it's...
Token
15
aura.
foot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you pick its color, you can do... And just do 15 foot, and then it'll...
I can't pick down there near token aura for some reason. You think you could do it
You
for
gotta
me?
scroll.
I can do it for you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
You
I'll do
gotta
it for
scroll down.
Let's do...
It's just so slow on the roll. Whoa.
Can you see that?
Yeah. It's a
Okay,
little...
cool.
No.
No?
Can't see
Here,
it.
I can probably...
Under permissions.
Details. Under permissions, see. Save settings. Now we can see.
I see his name now.
But you don't see the aura?
Don't see the aura.
Oh, here we go. Now you
There we go. Yeah, now
There we go.
Okay.
Cool.
That is his spiritual guardian's aura.
They're all little Dalio heads. I'm gonna do Sun Smasher as soon as my character sheet pops up. It's just taking forever to load.
No worries, guys. Yeah, I don't know
Physical
what Roll20... I've had campaigns where Roll20 did this to me too. I don't know what causes it. Just
It's like
one of the cute things
you
that
have to
Roll20 decides to
overwrite the token settings every time you overwrite them. Like you have to overwrite the token settings
19
under
will
the
hit. Your
journal,
little,
and it's
your
hard
little
to
mini
remember.
Dalio charges forward and gets him right between the wings.
I think I cast this at level 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. He takes 6 force damage from the blow.
And that is it for Anubis.
Sounds good. We move to Nat's turn. She too is going to have to do a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Let me see. Here we go.
Oof.
She gets a natural 20 on that, so she does fine. She's covering her ears very, very hard, completely blocking out sound. So good, I'm going to say she's deafened for this round. If any sound-based thing happens, it will not affect her. Alibaba, you are within range, so please do a Constitution saving throw.
I put a fantastic joke in the Twitch chat that I was going to keep as Twitch chat exclusive content, but I will say it here now. It's a nat 20.
Do like
19.
Yes, with the horrendous droning, you are able to be far enough away to shake it off. You are fine.
Of course.
We don't even know what it does. Nobody's rolling for enough.
Yep, everyone's just been doing so good. We have no idea. I'm going to.
Let me see. It's Ollie's turn here.
Let me pick something.
Alibaba is going to hold his action.
No, that's not it. Yeah, I'm just going to turn that off because that's not it. What kind of action are you holding? And what's the condition for using that action?
I am holding a spell in preparation for any sort of spell coming from the demon.
So
if the demon casts a spell, I will then cast a spell. Can I do that? I can't remember.
If we're doing technical rules, holding a spell is the same as casting a spell. You will consume the spell slot. And if the conditions don't happen, the spell slot will still be consumed, but...
Sometimes it's good to wonder what's the intent behind this. Are you looking to interrupt his spell cast? Are you looking to? He hasn't cast any spells yet.
If I'm going to say theoretically the spell you're thinking about is counterspell, that is a reaction spell, so you can still do it on his turn, anyways.
So
it's not an action or a bonus action spell. So you could cast that on his turn anyways. Even if you used every action you had this turn, you could still counterspell.
I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast on this guy. Okay. I'm peeking around this column.
Yeah.
16 hit.
16 will hit. Nice. He once again takes some force damage and resists some fire damage.
I feel like I roll this very high.
Well, you do have a bonus to it. That's your charisma modifier, which is
you got your modifier. But that is still quite high.
The second one also hits. The second one doesn't have the fire damage. It's just your first attack.
Yeah. So 34.
I think that should be 4 damage.
But it went up as my level went up. I think it
isn't it your proficiency bonus? Not your level.
It's saying it's 2 plus proficiency.
It should be.
And also our proficiency bonus is 3. I don't think there's 3. Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere that could be 4.
It's a
genie patron thing.
Yeah.
I think it's proficiency bonus, unless I'm mistaken.
Okay. Well, my proficiency bonus is 3.
Okay. All right. I modified
extra damage to the target equal to your proficiency bonus.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me edit that spell, but anyway.
No worries. I added back the HP I would need to. Yeah, it's starting to look a teensy bit rough. It's starting to look a little rough.
Little haggard, a little harangued.
It's looking a little ragged.
Okay.
Anything else on your turn, Alibaba? You got bonus action. You got movement.
Keep your ears covered, Matt. That's it. He just continues to hover behind partially behind the column, looking at everybody.
Wise. Too many
cooks.
This is just a test.
Too many character sheets.
Real quick.
Good golly.
This is just a test. It's
just a test.
It's a really good test, is what it is.
No, it's wrong.
Alright, it's content with its current position, so it is going to...
It's got to take those spirit guardians damage at some point.
Yeah, wisdom save.
That's right. What's the saving throw for that? Wisdom?
Save. Hope
This
you're
is a very wise demon.
Bug. Are you a wise bug?
You can roll your damage anyway because it deals damage regardless.
Truth.
Voodoo.
Yeah, so it as you feel yourself inflict your magic upon it, you can sense that it has some resistance to magic.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that expresses itself is advantage on saving throws.
I believe it's immune to magic.
Fully
So
immune.
it passes the saving throw, but it still takes half damage.
Or considered to be somewhat immune. Resistant,
I believe,
that's the
right?
word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll
still
take
takes that.
6 radiant damage from that.
Wait. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, so as your guardians
devils...
buff it into it, but they don't stagger it, if that makes sense.
It does.
It turns its attention to you, Amobus,
Huh?
and it will do an attack.
At disadvantage.
We could talk about this.
It will do an attack at disadvantage.
Because it is not attacking me.
As his probe puts out a particularly distracting pulse. It's going to do a second attack at Amobus. I believe both of those miss.
They do. Proboscis.
And
Proboscis?
Karis, it's your turn. You need to do a Constitution saving throw.
Con save. 24. I'm sure that's fine.
Yes, it's fine. Sorry.
Cool, no worries. And I'm gonna make another two swings at it. I'm just gonna take one. I'm just gonna take two.
The first one hits.
Mm-hmm.
As it takes a 10 thunder damage.
10 thunder. And dinos.
As you hit it once again on its somewhat softer underbelly.
Yep.
And it is marked by your abilities.
I don't have anything terribly interesting to do with my bonus action, so I shan't. Done.
Alrighty. Amobus.
Con save.
Let's do a Constitution saving throw.
Gah!
You two are able to continue to resist the terrible droning.
You think this is bad, Bug? You should sit in a 7-hour church service. I can resist anything.
I was considering going for my mother-in-law joke, like, oh, if you wanted to see a horrible monster droning on and on, I'd just go over to my mother-in-law's house.
That'll hit.
Ka-chow!
It's great because my fiance doesn't like their mother, so I actually can continue to make mother-in-law jokes.
So, Amoebus reaches down with his clawed hoofs down to his waist where his thrust web exists, and he unsheathes thrust web for the first time in 2023 and gets ready to strike with thrust web. Does it talk to me at all does it try to commune with me as I...
It remains silent for now.
Okay.
Hey, man.
Although you notice
It is merely a sword.
Every spider in the room turns and slowly bows.
And he's just like, that's weird. Nice.
A spider sword, a mosquito enemy. It's destiny. That hits.
Nice.
Try natural
9
predators.
piercing.
Yeah, that and that'll do it. You with the Sun Smasher knocks it in the wing, causing it to fall out of the sky, and you coup de grace stab through as it twitches a bit, goes limp, and then its body incinerates itself, causing it to disappear. And that'll be the end of combat.
That's
Well
the
done, everybody.
first D&D combat I've ever been in that was not just fully ambushing someone. That did not result in any damage to the party.
I know, that was good. He didn't have a very high attack.
Can that really be called an ambush?
Attack bonus?
My AC is just so much fun in this character too.
21 AC is just like, oh, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And, to metagame for our viewers and our characters, I wasn't sure what to lead with. Like, I had a few different ideas for that encounter, and I was like, let me be a little bit more moderate. And
yeah. I think that's always good. I think
I'm sure there'll be
D&D
more
should
challenging
consist
things upcoming.
D&D should consist of like, at least 25% total romps for the party. Just an absolute clobber fest of.
Well, it's also
just doing
tough
a
because
ton of
I can't
damage.
even use like CR calculations and stuff because you guys have advantages that like normal characters
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's true.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So
we're not
it's
true
unique,
level 6.
but
We're not standard.
Well, I hope there's not too many of those ahead,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
15 bug, just all
Looks like they have,
overlapping with their
a lot of
buzzing.
health.
The whole hive.
You have to. It's your turn. I want you to roll me 15 Constitution saving throws, or just go
Oh,
until you
bet.
fail.
Just tell me when you fail. Roll as many as you want. I'll tell you when it's time.
Is everyone all right? Yeah. Any worse for the wear?
I don't believe so.
I'm pretty good.
Wings thrust web off.
Yeah, there's a notable quiet as you were kind of being double assaulted with a telepathic abyssal sound in your mind and a physical droning sound as well. The silence is unlike anything you've ever felt before. Like both
We are in a cave too, yeah, so it's like
peace of mind and a piece of ears. So you can enjoy that for a moment.
Alibaba flies over to Nat and tries to get her attention because she's still probably over there holding her ears, in the corner.
Yeah, she's just kind of
It is okay.
She looks up at you and surprisingly pops up and smiles and says, "I didn't even hear a thing." And
Lucky you.
And she kind of just strolls over, happy as can be, childlike glee.
Did you understand anything that was going on in your mind? Did it just sort of sound like gibberish, or did it formulate words for you?
No, I didn't understand anything. It was just over and over and over the same thing. But I don't know what it was.
Okay, I was just wondering if you happened to speak the language. Sounded like a
No,
devil talking or something.
I speak Gnomish and Undercommon and some Common as well.
Ah, mahalo. I also speak Gnomish.
Oh, mahalo.
I made the
Gnome
world
to meet you. Gnome to meet you, gnome friend.
I've never
Gnome,
met
are you doing?
gnome one like you.
Oh, I'm doing gnome.
What?
We're all doing gnome these days.
What was your gnome again? What was?
Oh, it's Nat the gnome, But
So anyway, it's
all my
awful
gnomes
quiet.
I don't know about this nomenclature.
Hey yo!
Hey, yo.
Nomenclature is good.
Okay, so I feel a little hesitant to just run into the city after that. Maybe we should take a minute to see what we can see from here. Or I could fly up. Is there like a height I could fly up to kind of see if I can see anything from above?
yeah, I mean,
know.
it's a fairly vertical area. You could fly up a bit.
Yes.
Maybe we could use, and I just like Newt, like Amoebus just eyes Newt.
Oh yeah, Newt.
Eye of Newt.
Newt, get over here. Why are you hiding back behind the map? Okay.
Don't be rude to Newt.
Be my eyes, Newt. And he tells Newt to fly out, and see if he can see anything.
Yeah. Give me I don't remember if it's you or if it's Newt that does the perception roll, but let's say it's you. That's easier for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me a perception check then?
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Newt's flittering around the slums. It's kind of in that reverse conal shape, so Newt can get a pretty good look. He flaps up and then kind of glides in circles for a minute, just looking for anything interesting, which at first he doesn't see, and then suddenly in one of the houses you see a fire light up, like as Newt is watching. And he does a few more circles just to see if anything else. It's the only fire that's lit. It's
I'm seeing one fire in this entire city.
It's only about one level up from you. You can see the whole walkway to get to it. And if you were looking for hazards, more bugs, you're not seeing it.
I think
it seems like
right
this
now,
is maybe
most
the
of all,
sole problem here in the slums.
We need most of all is
I have
the
a good feeling
information.
Checking this out, my friends. There is a light ahead. 2 levels, 1 level up, not far. I can not see any enemies. We should probably check it out.
Wonderful. Sounds like the perfect place to go.
Let us try to sneak our way there.
Because we're so good at that.
You can try if you want. I am flying in the air.
Yeah, if y'all
Give it
want
a
to be
s-
sneaky, you can do
Let's give it
a
a
I mean-
solid
stealth check.
shot.
Hopefully nobody saw me.
I'm kind of in the camp that like stealth's never going to be worse than not stealth.
Yeah, that's true. It almost can't be. Like you're going carefully, and then you might mess it up.
Yeah.
But
Do you get disadvantage on that, Karos?
oh, you're so right. I do. So I'm wearing my big armor.
I cast guidance on myself before
I can
do
remember
so.
if you're
With the
in.
big. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
in my Lama
Okay, so you got a
configuration.
9. Alibaba's got a 21. Very nice. I think Nat should be fine.
I just look like a cloud or something. A whiff of smoke.
Sneaky cow.
Wow. Well, you can add you a D4 to that if you want.
Sneaky cow is what I call my mother-in-law.
Oh, man. Yeah, Nat's.
That is a good one.
Yeah, Nat is so light she makes basically no sound when moving.
We're the same, Amuba says, walking next to that.
I'm walking on his tiptoes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the very light clinking of Karas's armor literally covers every other sound that your party makes. So overall, it's a very subtle presence that for people to be making. So you start to head around. I mean, just for flavor, I'll throw us on the other map. You start to head around, like from down here. You see the kind of buildings that are here are real third world country, tin roofs. They're hollowed into the rock. They're canopies, but everything's shut up, locked up, real quiet, at least as quiet as you. As you move towards the light, and as you get a little bit closer, you see the door with the light open crack, and you can see the figure of a dark dwarf gesturing for you to come very urgently.
Yeah, head in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes,
Yeah, so
this
you
is safe.
continue to make your way uneventfully. It appears nothing is moving here except you, and you make your way up to this doorway where you are let in by a Durgar. And let me find the map.
Durgar. How do you say that?
Durgar? Dwagar?
I think I say Dwerger, but I think I put a little too much W stank on it. Dwerger. I think it's probably from
zoom in
the
a little bit.
Dwemer from Skyrim. I put a little too much Dwemer on there, so it's like Dwerger. I say Skyrim. I of course mean the Elder Scrolls canon for all of you Morrowind lovers in the chat.
Lovers the word.
So you see before you a dark dwarf. He's, probably near 4 feet tall. If you've ever heard tell of dark dwarfs, he has a more fleshly color than you would expect. You expect very gray and stone-like skin, but he has a little bit of a pink tinge to him. And as of right now, he has an, if not somewhat frightened non-hostile looking face to him, and he inquires of you, Dwarfen, Unterkommen?
Is this in common? He's talking in common.
Well, he says
He-
Dwarvish in Dwarvish, and he says Undercommon in Undercommon.
Okay.
So if anyone understands either of those,
I do.
I
but
believe
can I
Amubis has
speak
both.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Can I
you...
speak it?
I was gonna say I think this is both. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
No. I mean, I can with this. I can understand it and speak it. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So I speak back. In
Speak, read,
Undercommon.
and write.
I ask name and business here. Seems what's going on here.
So he says to Amubis, he goes, Undercommon. It is good that you can speak my language. I've not seen people like you before. Welcome to my home. And gestures for y'all to come in as he kind of moves. You can see, you can see around his house that this is obviously a forge. He's some sort of smith. So he has a very large roaring fire. It's by far the warmest place you've been in the Underdark so far. Walls are all stone and windowless, but it has a cozy kind of feel to it.
I enter close, going towards him to continue conversation. But while I'm doing so, I'm looking at Nat. Does she seem to have any sort of recognition on her face for this person?
No.
Okay.
She is kind of just basking in the warmth. Like, she looks very relieved to be here, and at the same time somewhat nervous.
Okay. I say in Undercommon. Thank you for having us. We encountered a beast in the lower parts of this city. What is going on?
I know, I saw that you killed it, and I am very grateful. Yeah. So, behind the scenes, he did a perception check, and that's why he was the one who noticed that you guys killed it. We have been beset with this demon since they invaded. They deigned to only send one, but it has been more than enough to keep everyone in their homes.
My name is Amubis Kaufin. My colleagues are Karos. I point out, and then I point to Alibaba. And Alibaba, we are on a great journey and are making our way to, I guess, the center of the kingdom. Is that the best way to describe of kind of where we're headed?
I mean, you know as much as you know, so wherever you feel like.
And then I turn to Alibaba and Cross and explain, like, I asked for his name first before I turned to him. And you are?
You may call me Top. T-O-P. It is short for Topside. I have some surface dwarf blood, so it was kind of a mocking nickname, but now it's kind of stuck.
I turn to Cross and Alibaba and say that this is Top. In common, this is Top. He's saying that beast plagued their village for some time now.
Wow.
Is anyone else worried that we are the only building in the entire city with a light on? Do you think that might draw attention to us?
Turn back to Top. Top, it's probably not a good idea that we are in a dwelling with a light on, yes? Draw attention to ourselves. Don't you figure more beasts will come?
Well, to my knowledge, that was the only demon here in the slums. We have not much of value here. We do not attract much attention from the demons. That's why everyone's lights were off. The beast would come, it would paralyze you with its sounds and drink your blood.
Are there many people still left here in the city, or are they just in hiding?
Oh, I would say just about every one of these homes has someone in it. We have just learned to be very quiet to avoid the demon.
That's more reassuring.
I turn around and explain all that.
And after that is when I would say, "Oh, that's reassuring."
Yes. Yeah. So, Karos, Alibaba, what's our move here? What's next? Move into town? Ask for the best route forward?
Yes, I think that we should probably get a little bit more information about the current war effort and stuff. Only poke as much as he seems to know. There's a big difference in what information we'll get from somebody who's just hiding out from one demon daily. I imagine he probably won't have that much information, but perhaps he can tell us more about where the infraction started and such. Maybe a little bit of history about the war. I don't know. Seems older than that.
Yes.
And that might.
If he can tell us more of what is going on, that would be very beneficial.
And then yes, next steps will just be moving, more towards the city, more to where, things seem like they're happening. Doesn't appear to be here.
Alibaba's just hovering like 1 foot above the floor on his carpet.
Yes, Alibaba, we all know you can fly, and I turn around annoyed to the top.
Did you see this carpet? Okay.
Top, where did this beast originate from? What was his path of origin? We are actually hoping to travel towards it. We think we know where this thing came from, but...
The demons came from somewhere near the center of the city. The king has been waging war against them for some time now. Although it's somewhat recent, it has been very fierce. I suppose it's been maybe 2 months now.
Do you know how the war effort
I have
goes?
not yet myself. I produced weapons for the war effort, but I have not myself gone, though my closest friend has recently been conscripted. He headed up towards the city. If you are capable of killing demons, then I suspect the king would like to meet you.
Where could we find him?
It's fairly simple. It's an efficiently designed city. You basically go up and you eventually find it. It's all built as a giant cone that leads to the center. Here in the slums, we are at the lowest part, near the water table, and it climbs upward.
That is an efficient system.
Do you know...
Certainly for a cave system.
We are dwarves,
Do you know...
he says, not understanding what you said.
Do you know what...
It's a great response to everything.
What is
We are dwarves.
What is the king... How many more beasts are they fighting? What are we talking? It was just one here, but how many is there? Do you know?
Hundreds, thousands, it's hard to say. It's a war effort that has required the entire kingdom.
Yes. I was going to say it's enough devils certainly to get a kingdom of this size in motion and sort of locked down. So it's got to be a ton. Thankfully, we're not actually here to stop that.
Amubus, see if you can get him to introduce us to the king of this place.
Do you think he knows him?
I sort of tried that. He just told me to travel up, that it was a well-built city. And we would find him. But it sounds like the war effort is not going so well, so I wouldn't bring it up.
Okay.
don't like all this chitty
Well,
chat
they would
that I
know
don't
what I was saying
understand.
anyway.
Yeah, he just set it off
Everybody's
to the side. He's like,
I'm blushing a little bit. I feel like it's about me.
No, it's, I apologize, Top.
I'll make some tea. We
We
can.
just try to make
Alibaba just
the
like
best of
points
the
at it.
He's like,
him.
I'll make some tea, and
He's like,
you'll see him
him.
take
Ask
obviously beer and just pour
him
it in
if
a
he's-
kettle.
Hot tea, delicious.
Top. I hate to bother you or inconvenience you or put you out, but is there anything that you could offer here in this forge? We do have weapons that could potentially we could barter with you on some improvements or something like that to prepare our journey forward into the war.
If you have something specific, I could probably get it for you, but I'll be honest, I'm a simple smith in the slums. I produce surplus things for our military, but as far as, I don't know, magic items and that, it's beyond my reckoning.
Do you have any? Ask him if he has any sulfur or bad guano.
Don't you think he like Anubis narrows his eyes and leans into Alibaba? Wouldn't you think that makes it sound like we're the demons? It's probably not a good idea. But I asked anyway.
Okay,
I said my friend wants sulfur and bat guano, and I just kind of like this guy. I'm not with it. We're just working friends.
Huh?
And this is the Underdark. You can't walk 2 steps without falling on some sulfur and bad guano.
They got a lot of it, Alibaba. It's
Is,
apparently everywhere.
materials here.
Great.
Just scrape it off the walls on your way
You
out.
need it for fireballs, so.
He said, "Scrape it on your way out." Listen.
Yes, he advises you that you can gather it in this area easily. So as you travel, you will be able
Don't
to
really
find
like
it.
touching half of the ingredients, though.
I mean, there's no better and worse or bad guano. It's all the same.
Do you have
It all lights into a
I can give it to
fireball,
you.
just all the same.
It's all fireballs from here.
You wouldn't happen to have any potions, would you, Top?
The hot beer starts to whistle, and he pours it out in a cup, which you are welcome
Hot
to
beer.
partake.
Sweet.
Have a try.
The tea.
Don't mind if I do. I am resistant to the heat, though.
Yeah, it's incredibly hoppy. So it's like the strongest IPA you've ever had, hot.
And hot.
Ooh, but for me, it's
Absolutely
lukewarm.
disgusting.
Lukewarm.
Really horrible.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Nat. It's an adult
In the-
beverage. Sorry.
In the brightest voice I can, I say very encouragingly all the words that I know in common, and also Elvish for this tastes bad. Just like Savorda Laporta, Shukabaguga. He just totally doesn't understand, but I'm just saying it's gross in a nice way.
Anubis turns to him and says, "They love
Oliva's
it.
just not
They
his
love
own,
it."
yeah.
And he just kind of like mimics what you're saying. Like hot shit. Mm.
Exactly.
Karos, is there any armor or weapons that you think this forger can do? He is a blacksmith, but he's not.
I do all my own stunts.
Oh,
It's-
very well.
It's a Kairos show over here. It's a lovely forge. Do tell him that it's a lovely forge, especially for, not being able to access the resources. It seems like he's made a couple of very interesting non-standard modifications with tools he's had at hand, and I respect that.
He likes your forge. That one.
Yeah,
His
he kind of
doors
puffs up.
usually start
like,
with an
"Well."
anvil at the embark.
I point to some especially interesting things that I noticed that he has done specifically. Like I'll point at an interesting joint and just be like,
Well, yes, I specialize in concealed weaponry, like the fold-out daggers are kind of my thing. It's particularly popular here in the Underdark, so
Anubis
For
The
the
hook and the blade.
stabbings, for sure.
Anubis is starting to get a little like impatient with the translation process, so he just shortens everything and be like, he does secret knives. Like he's just like very abbreviated on how he's doing the translation. Well,
That's wonderful. Then it seems like
Well,
we've got
Top,
someone
do
to shoot
you
for.
want a child laborer? Oh, he can't understand me. This is probably good.
I'm not going to talk to him about child labor, Alex.
I just
Well,
perhaps
we
she could
should
stay here, and she could be safe here instead of in the
Oh, very good. You would
sewers.
Nat, is that something that would be of interest to you to seek shelter here?
At this point, he notices Nat and kind of jumps a little bit like, good, go. Oh, you have a child with you?
Yes, we encountered her in our
I have
travels.
not seen you before.
She can speak under comments, so she has been understanding, right?
Yeah.
Alibaba
Yes,
having a lot of experience getting children adopted. He just sort of like is doing like the smile symbol, like smile. He's trying to get
Trying to coach her.
Yeah. And he's like pointing over to him. Anyway,
A more Matilda style of adoption than.
All right.
Yeah, so she kind of peeks out from the side and says, aren't you friends with the other one? The one with the fire knives? And he goes, oh? And how do you know him? I saw him when he was leaving. Interesting. Yes, apparently she knows my friend, the one who was conscripted.
Fire knives.
But he's got to be at the center of the city by now. Yes, I don't know. He doesn't live around here anymore, little girl. Don't really want to adopt anyone right now.
It's
He goes,
going
"No,
well, I
I'm
can see.
She turns to you, Alibaba, and goes, "No, I want to go with you.
Okay.
I already
This
live in
always
the
happens.
slums. That's
How
why I
does this
moved to the
always
sewers.
happen to me? I don't know.
I want to go somewhere else."
Very well.
I don't hold it against you. Let's be away from this place.
I can't blame her for wanting to leave the slums. This is not a good place to live. Honestly, with my birthright, I could live somewhere else, but it's hard to get this kind of forge space deeper into the city. So this is a better workshop for me.
And a fine workshop it is.
Oh, thank you.
We will start to head out.
Plus, I get a little bit of discrimination for being of surface folk blood, but it's fine.
Well, we are very thankful for you giving us shelter. We are preparing to go inward. Is there any other advice that you have for our journey?
Perhaps we need something. I know. I'll make you something to demark you as demon slayers, so they don't reject you as outsiders from the start.
That would be incredibly useful.
Yes, well,
Perhaps
Certainly, you can imagine the discrimination faced by a friend here, but with his somewhat demon face.
I don't have
Should
a
I
demon face.
should I go into the city carrying the severed head of the demon? I think that might.
You
Well, it
can't.
burned
You
up when
can't.
it
It burned
died.
up.
Oh no!
Yeah, it disappeared when it died. This won't be anything official, but I will make you medals. Perhaps with symbols only the Duragar know. That they will know it at least came from one of our people.
Ah, a shibboleth. Yes.
Is there any sort of
Can you translate the
know.
word shibboleth?
I can't.
Do you
I
know-
was about to say I can. Just because.
Do you have any extra fake beards?
Instead of Amubis actually saying the word in Undercommon,
doesn't
he's
Alibaba have a real beard?
Yeah.
But you know,
Amubis is ashamed.
I think Karis is probably the only one who doesn't have a beard.
Amubis is ashamed he doesn't know that word, so he's embarrassed and just says, "There's no word for that in Undercommon."
Yes,
It's a
I can't
borrowed
understand
word
what he's
anyway.
saying. I'll just make a shibboleth. JK, I don't even know what that is, to be honest. But
It's a Hebrew borrowed word or something. It's an interesting story that I will tell off stream later.
that sounds good. So he takes out. He's actually going to take 3 brass buttons from his own coat, hammer them out flat, and he has little almost like a printing press, little runic taps that he can put in, and so he makes you some very nice medals. He puts a little piece of red ribbon behind it so that it looks proper metally. And it says on it, it just says Demon Slayers in Undercommon and Dwarvish. So it says Demon Slayers Undercommon on the top, Dwarvish on the bottom, in a very distinct Dwergar design, so that it definitely came from a Dwergar forge. So, if someone's inclined to at least know that some Dwergar somewhere thinks you guys are Demon Slayers.
Yeah.
So, better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
So
for
he hands those out to the 3 of you. He doesn't give one to Nat because she's a small child.
And also looks much like the approval of a Dwergar.
A very
goes up
small
for
child.
a spiritual bird.
Yeah, she's fine. People wouldn't, they might be like, "Get out of the way, little kid," but they wouldn't be like, "We need to stop this demon war to take care of these outsiders." Yeah, so he says, "You're welcome to stay here if you'd like, but to be honest, I'd like to head out and tell our neighbors that it's safe to resume business as usual."
Yes, for at least until they send the next demon.
One would hope word doesn't travel too fast.
Well, try not to spread it.
So he, barring any thing you want to ask him still, he's planning on heading out. But you guys are welcome to stay here as long as you please.
I tell him thank you before he heads out. Thank you from all of us. Top.
No,
You're
thank
the
you.
tops.
Thank you. You've done more for us
Goodbye.
than you know.
Surely that's somebody doing sanding.
Sandpapering.
Somebody sanding
Somebody's
something?
sanding a table.
Yeah, that.
Yep.
What's that?
It was just my
It's
mouse
not
pad.
me.
It was your what?
It was
Mouse
just my
pad?
mouse
Your-
pad, yeah.
Your mouse pad does that?
It's pretty
I was
noisy.
just rubbing it. It was
Hey, give me that sandpaper mouse pad.
That's
Will.
not-
That's what I want.
Give me that belt sounder
You
mouse pad.
gotta get one of these rubbery ones instead of the ones that came with Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls
Yeah,
that has
it's-
little.
It's
vinyl
helpful
thing.
for my palms. I just sandpaper my palms down.
I bought one of those
That's wild.
4 foot by 3-foot mouse pad. It's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
They're wild.
So yeah, y'all are welcome to rest here if you want. You're welcome to use this forge if you want. You're welcome to head out right away if you want. He's just going to be going around to quite a number of people, telling them it's safe.
Local.
Do any of us know how to use a forge or anything like that? I mean, I would think Kairos.
I'm sure Kairos does.
I've used a forge in my life before. I'm not going to say that I can make you anything particularly special. I could.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of tools are you proficient in.
I'm just thinking maybe we could
Smith's
make
tools.
make Nat a little, armor or something. But it might
I am
take a
proficient
couple
in
of
Smith's
days.
tools, but I'm not certain that it would be any better than her, natural ability to run and hide. How much armor can I actually put on a little girl that will be effective? I could build her a sort of shell that we could just play. I think a jar placed around her would be about the number one most physical. She should really just get somewhere and hide.
Yeah,
Very
really,
simply.
with her.
We could put armor on her for
With
days,
her being a
but-
small child, I don't think she's going to be proficient in pretty much anything.
I'm
So it's
just
probably
going
to be all dead
All right.
weight.
Give her a crossbow. She could be our Omega, like in Bad Batch.
Yeah, there you go.
I certainly don't have the mechanical skills to build a crossbow. It's anachronistic even in this time period. Crossbows are very hard to build.
Fine.
You have to store so much
I would
tension
say-
in such a small package.
I would say
Only-
probably. Well, tell you what. Anyone who wants to give me an investigation check, I have something in mind, but let's leave it up to a roll.
Okay.
Whether
Boom.
you guys have it in mind.
27.
Okay. Wow. Yes, with Top's particular specialty being concealed weaponry, you can definitely see a world where you could make a hidden blade mount for the King of Sleep. If Alibaba wanted such a thing, he could make a hidden blade out of it.
Ooh, yes, that would be awesome.
Indeed. Yeah, cool.
It would basically just be it's just like a hinged contraption that you would just mount a dagger in.
Could I get a sheet?
Kairos, look at this blueprint I found over here. Do you think you can make this? I don't know.
Yes, I mean he's done. Top has done most of the work here. It's just about the minor adjustments to the King of Sleep's physical properties, dimensions and such. He's got calipers. He's got all the tools to make this. I can make this fairly easily.
Perfect.
Karos, is there just something you could make me out of what's laying around here as a sheath? I believe we've had some issues with the old thrust web giving off some bad vibes to people that see it. So anything to conceal it, I'd appreciate
Bad
it.
juju.
I'll see what I can do, but I think our best bet here is a sort of sheet, just covering it. Sometimes we try to over-engineer problems. It's something you kind of get out of your head when you start to be an artificer. Not everything needs a little gimmick.
Put it in your pocket.
Yes, put it in your pocket.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a kind of standard sheath because it did not come with one, so right now it's just full on blade out. So if you wanted, you could make a leather or metal sheet. Probably metal's more your forte.
I'll go ahead and make a little. I'll take an impression of thrust web. Well, I'll get Amoobus to help me with an impression of thrust web. I don't feel comfortable touching it for too long.
Yeah.
Why don't you put it in this sand?
Yeah, it likes you. It doesn't like me. Yeah, and I'll get to work. Feel free to sit down. I suppose have more of this, just disgusting hot beer. Just truly awful.
Yes, hot beer.
Almost, but not entirely, unlike tea. But yes, and I'll get to, making the king of silent sleep.
I think Nat is going to dig through Top's belongings, and she's been wearing like more or less a pillowcase, like with holes cut in it. She's gonna find like just a normal shirt of his, and like cinch it up with a ribbon in the waist so that she has like a little more dressy looking dress for herself. So
fewer
she's
holes,
now
less rough.
Inconspicuous clothes. She looks less like an absolute like mud-stained orphan and a little bit more like
orphan
normal
waif.
child.
Cool. DM, we
All right.
may want to come
Everyone's
to
got a little something.
breaking point.
I think that's a fine time while we're in a nice resting area.
Mm-hmm. And then when we get back, you guys will have the thrust web sheath and King of Twilight.
That's
King
right.
King of Sleep.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna change it back to King of Sleep. I don't like the new name.
King of Twilight is when I got the Gamblers play. I was trying to remember when it changed. I was like, but yes, it has
we'll sort it out.
Functionality.
What about like King of Death? Right?
There's some stuff that
you just
like
add a bunch of damage to it.
it just kills things. Yeah, there's some things that I'm sure past me had a really great plan for this, but I don't like it as much now. Present
Yeah.
me.
That's how it goes when you
that's
when you
cool,
make
though.
characters too.
I feel like I'm turning into Assassin's Creed, or something.
Yeah.
I prefer the one that like folds up and then hooks over, so you can actually grab it like this and stab like that, instead of the one that just like
that
folds
was
up.
Assassin's Creed 3.
Was that 3? Yeah. I like that.
What I find funny about concealing your blade is you're still flying around on a fish. Like, there's no, it's like subtle and
Listen.
Whoa, that fly guy had a knife?
What?
It's not a fish.
Was there not a more remarkable
looks like a fish?
But I
thing
mean,
going on here?
okay, which would you be more intimidated by? A man flying on a fish, or a man flying on a fish wielding an open knife? Like,
He's got a knife!
I think there's objectively you would be
He's like,
more concerned
"Don't
about the
worry,
man flying on a
kill
fish.
you."
Than
You're like,
Yeah, it's like, why couldn't this carpet look like a bird? And I could have just hid in the sky, on the. But it looks
it's
like
a magic
fish.
carpet. What are you gonna do?
Beggars can't be magic carpet choosers.
Yeah. It's a flying
All right.
fish.
Well, if you want to play us out, Putu, we'll call that a night. So we're doing every other week, or are we doing every week on this?
That's right. Here's go to announcements. Thank you, PS Zombie, for another chapter of the Unbeaten Path, where that is 33 in the books, folks. We're almost close to 40 episodes, which is just crazy when you think about it. That's right. 33. So thank you all for clicking on us, finding us views now or after the fact. We are doing Unbeaten Path every other Monday. So we will not reconvene here for the Unbeaten Path until February the 13th. So be looking out for the next chapter of the Unbeaten Path on February 13th. Next Monday would be our week where we would do I Build a Sandcastle, but we're actually going to have to take a week off from that. So next week we will do a stream of me and PS Zombie actually did a stream a while back, a Splitgate. So you'll be seeing that live on Monday night as well. Fire is hot like this session of the Unbeaten Path. So thank you, PS Zombie,
Super hot fire.
for being a DM, and thank you, players, Climate Changers, Alibaba, and
Always.
Battle Armors, Karas. Thank you all, and to all a good night. Thank you all very much. Goodbye.
Bye bye.